person who make a budget, someone who represents financial company, gives a budget. What this person think about? To give people salary but not to no supply.
First, who did the budget management, they have the details. I don't have the information, so I'm not going to stress you.
But who is representing Atlantic Pacific Financial?
Sean, but he's working on accounting the
We're asking questions, we gotta get no answers.
All right.
What did we come to this meeting for? To ask questions, we said ask questions, and we get no answers.
Let's hear
So
the
questions are asking.
Let's hear
the answer. She's right, every time you ask for something at the office, we have no money, but let's increase it, the maintenance fees again, that's it. Where is the money going then?
Down the drain.
No, we have no answers, we have no answers.
Again, you get, the place to start is at your October financials. It shows you where you're spending your money, line item by line item against budget. You can look at October and see that you're going over the budget. Compare,
See where they can find the financial.
You know,
Yeah, tell them, please.
let me try to bring it down just a notch because I know everybody's really upset and
they're on your side.
and you know everybody got these issues with the budget. But let me just say this. I expressed some concerns to the association recently about the budget. I was given a response that some of my concerns were manufactured. In other words, I was making them up. Obviously, there is concerns about the budget, okay? And me pointing it out was timely in the sense that they are indeed concerns, not only for myself, but from the people you see right here, the unit owner, which is what we work for, right? So with that said, the gentleman here mentioned something about having a committee to work on the budget, which is a great idea. The gentleman in the back made some great points about the budget, how to look at it, how it should be laid out, how we can read it, how we should have it, etc., etc. Those are also good points. My concern is with the procedure of the budget adoption. From my understanding, the bylaws require a certain procedure that the budget is produced or introduced to the unit owners of the particular condominium. They review and approve and submit their budget to JWA, the association, for final approval.
They may have input to the board, but the board controls that.
Well, I think the bylaws dictate exactly how we do that, okay? So, hold on. Hold on. So what I'm just trying to do is tie up two things here. The gentleman saying, hey guys, you guys should form a committee to review the budget, and our bylaws say that the unit owners of a particular association are supposed to, or the particular condo group are supposed to have hearings in October and then prepare and submit their budget for approval. Now I may be mistaken or I may not, but I think doing that would eliminate a lot of the concerns that the particular unit owners are having of each individual condo group. If the condo groups can come together and review their particular budget and see what they need, how much they need, where the money's being lost and where more money's needed, then I think we can alleviate a lot of the problems that we're having here today. So my only point here is that I want to urge just the board of directors to review their governing documents and perhaps implement, if it's not required, which I believe it is required, that they implement what the auditor has already suggested. Have committees where people can review and discuss the budget. And when it comes to this point, we're not having these issues. With that said, Larry made a lot of allegations about the budget. I think Larry had a lot of valid points. Okay, and I'm happy to see that the board had, well, I don't know if the board realized this or not, but because the fact you didn't have quorum, you couldn't vote on it, which I think saved you a lot of headache, because somebody would have pointed it out and challenged it eventually. So I hope that the board reconsiders their approach on how they're handling the budget and the preparation of the budget and how it's conveyed to the unit owners, so that the unit owners can have a better understanding of what they're spending their money on and what they need to do to fix
If I
it.
could just add to that.
Yes, sir.
There are at least 2 or 3 people here tonight that have stood up and talked. That would be great for the committee. So staying up tonight and talking is one thing. But you got to, help with the workload. If there's 3 people out here, 1, 2, 3 could help with the committee. That would help the communication.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So that's my.
They give us the communicate. They try to shut up you.
Harry,
I almost was killed by
Harry, I want to
president?
answer your question.
So you said that don't answer. I heard you. You were telling him don't answer.
Excuse me.
You were telling him don't answer the question.
I will answer Harry's question, and I can't do it.
No, but you said no. You were telling him not to answer.
Harry, every year in March, we vote for a board. The board vote for the president, the vice president, and so on and so on. So the owners delegate the responsibility of ruling with the rules and regulations and everything, the whole community. We, the board, we asked several times for committees to be joined to the board, between board members and non-board members. We ask, some they are, join the committees, some not. So we are doing our best. We are not perfect. No way we are perfect. And be smart next March to vote a good board and good authorities.
No, first of all, we need to do audit. What was done by this?
Every
Before
year, the auditor is here. Every year,
independent auditor.
the finances from the community will be audited.
The community.
Board signs all the contracts. 10 years old, I don't know who was in charge this time. Who was in charge? I don't know. He was a member of the board.
The board
We sent it to the
how many
president.
years consecutively?
I don't know exactly. We've been around off and on for a long time.
I have a vice president.
I don't know who's on the actual, but again, as far as the budget, that's your business at hand. The more people that can look and help them digest the numbers, the more confidence you will have that they're spending it in the right place. So please help. The information is there. Management can provide you general
The information
answers.
is not there. The information has not been presented in a
Excuse
clear
me,
form for us to
excuse
be
me.
transparent.
The
So I'm
records are
saying
there.
that.
Yes.
It's not there. It's not transparent. I can't read it.
We have to receive the
you have
report
a
each
Excuse me,
month. We don't
excuse
have
me.
it.
I
You
have
have
a
a login
question.
into your website?
I haven't
Do you
gotten
have
it
a
today.
log? You have a login
I
to your
just got mine
website?
today.
Thank you.
Marty,
It's been there for the whole year.
I'm a 1 month old woman.
Yes.
Okay. I know that this board or this association took a loan of $3 million to solve all the problems that we have.
Say again, I cannot hear you.
Not to
That
solve.
about the money that you borrow to solve the problems that the condominium
loan.
had, the loan.
Yes.
So the loan was supposed to cover a lot of expenses that were not paid.
For the house?
To pay for the balcony,
for the restroom.
No.
Well, that is what they told us, and we are paying for that loan.
The law, we have a special assessment, and we will pay this special assessment for a long time. To fix the balconies and all the 40 years certification, we have to take a loan in advance because we, the owners, are paying for a long time, more than the time carousel is working.
Okay, that's my question. I have
Okay.
been paying for that
I
for a
answer.
long time. There is a loan that was supposed to cover for that, and then I
Okay.
don't see balconies, I don't see money, and now you're talking about increasing the maintenance fee. So what is going on? It's
Okay.
too many payments.
Alex,
Who have the key for the bathroom?
Ralph, you're talking about committee, about creation of committee. We have finance committee.
Yes.
Okay. And Sophia and I on this committee. Okay.
Finance
No one asked us for any input.
That's true.
Any input whatsoever. According to 718, any committee is created for giving some kind of recommendation. Okay, but like our finance committee didn't exist. So the information which I received this budget was created solely by representative from Atlantic Pacific.
No.
It's, okay, I will show you email which I received, whatever, I don't know whether it's truth or not, it's whatever I received. Okay?
Let me tell you.
However, our finance committee still exists, okay?
Yes.
So why we were left alone? Maybe, we could give some kind of valid recommendation. We live here for a long time. Atlantic Pacific here works with us, 3 years, okay? So maybe we will be able to give some kind of advice specifically with our reserve budget, okay? Because we know history, and because of that, whatever was put on this reserve schedule regarding to the pool doesn't make any sense whatsoever. All these numbers, okay? But we have rely on these documents in order for us to vote for partial reserve. So I can't understand, this and follow what Harry said. In our bylaws, chapter 7.
Six.
Okay. No.
Section 6. You know it, huh?
7. Not in chapter 7. Everything was violated from A to C.
6.
Everything.
6.
Okay.
What do you
I
mean
have an
everything?
amendment which was properly filed, registered, and it's a document, and nothing was falling through there. I don't know what was the reason for this violation. I'm not going to blame anybody, but it's a fact. And if the board will not start eventually follow our governing documents, we will be in a big trouble, because this is our constitution, and we have to follow it whether somebody likes it or not. Because somebody doesn't like First Amendment, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist, and we have to follow it. It's the same thing. But when we are talking about our bylaws, it's like, yeah, we have something,
Dr. Alex, excuse me, can I say something?
I agree with you, Alex.
Dr. Alex, huh? Dr. Alex?
Alex.
Dr. Alex.
Okay, that's how I know him. Okay, when I received the budget, I reviewed it, and I called Maggie, and I was talking to him 2 hours, item by item. And I even mentioned to Magdi, I want to talk to you about it, to see what we could do to, because I know where it came from. Most of for example, we have $60,000 more legal. The maintenance went up. And since you are part of the committee, you're welcome to text me or email me what day and time we could meet and meet up or with Magdi and see what we could do to lower a little bit. Our suggestion.
You don't need
You got
to lower.
I got the budget. Okay, only after that.
I saw your
I
email.
get my question. So I don't know, maybe for some reason I was left over and you got lucky.
Maintenance went up. You could see maintenance went up, legal went up.
Finance committee supposed to sit
I know.
with representative from Atlantic Pacific who works on the budget and discuss.
If you want, we could sit, you and I, and we could call
It's not
Magdi.
you and
Because,
It's not you and I, it's a finance committee along
recognize to
with
say something.
our members. We have to sit and talk about it. And we didn't have this conversation. I don't know, maybe you did, or I didn't. Okay? And since we represent community, and they are our contractors who work for us, I don't get me wrong, okay? But they don't live here. They are not responsible for payments. It's our obligation. And you know, this year we have Atlantic Pacific, and next year maybe we will have Pacific
No, we have a
Atlantic.
contract.
So,
We have a contract, so
They signed the
otherwise, you know, there is absolutely no sense for finance committee to
I agree with you. I mean, that's why I even I told Magdi that I want to meet with you and the staff finance committee to discuss it. I just wanted to know.
Safika, since we are in the budget committee, you know that we still pay for the tower, for the rent of the tower, it's included in our
Let the attorney
maintenance.
let the attorney talk because we're paying a lot of money for this.
Not that much. My name's Kevin Peters. Hello. My name's Kevin Peters. I'm the attorney for the association. And for those of you that raised your points and you did it respectfully, and there were some very good points made, I want to thank you for that. I want to thank you for making your points and then respecting the person trying to respond to them. It's not very easy to get up here and speak to a group of people that doesn't want to hear what they have to say, whether or not it's accurate or not. So Perry, Dr. Alex, you guys made some really good points and you were very respectful when you did it, and I do appreciate that. I also agree with what you guys are saying. I agree with the concept of the committee, and in fact, this is partially an oversight on my part, but an oversight by the board for what seems to be several years at this point, that your bylaws were amended in 1974 to include basically a ratification process of the budget by the members. It's not a very common practice for a condominium association. As was pointed out earlier, typically the board of directors is voted in by the membership, and the board of directors adopts the budget. And really the only issue that most members get when it comes to the budget is whether or not to waive reserves. That's typically how your documents were originally written. That's kind of how the statute is written. But the statute also says that if your governing documents say that the unit owners are to participate in the budget process, then the unit owners should participate in the budget process. Your bylaws say that there's supposed to be a committee in October. It's a practice that hasn't been followed for several years since. That's not true. Before I started.
That's been followed
anyway,
every
like I
year
said,
for the
Harry,
past 20
I
years.
was just thanking everybody for being respectful while I was responding to their questions. So, right on point. Anyway, so like I was saying, there's supposed to be a committee that forms in October, and that committee is supposed to give its opinions to the board, and they're supposed to sit down together. Looks like you have a finance committee. That seems like the perfect vehicle to continue that practice. But essentially what happens is that the board of directors is going to have to pass a budget, adopt the budget, and then send it out to the members in a mass mailer for ratification.
So, are you representing the board or are you representing the
I
members?
represent the association.
The association?
Yeah.
So you're on their side?
All of your side. All of your side. It doesn't have to be us versus you. It doesn't have to
It
be.
doesn't sound like you're on our side. Because you're sounding like you're trying to make it sound sweet for them, for us to accept whatever they're doing.
I just accept the responsibility for the oversight. Maybe I didn't do it as harshly as you want me to, but that's my style. That's my style.
About this. How is the process supposed to work? Whereas it was implemented, and we have the committee, which I'm very, very excited to hear that there is a committee in place for that. And how that there was an oversight that there was a lack of collaboration between the two things. How is it that the committee is held responsible to the finance committee when there is a finance committee and it's just been completely negated over the last several years without there being an interaction, which there needed to be? What is going to change this year?
Well, it looks like they're going to interact with the finance committee. I don't know.
Let me answer. The committee composed of board member and couple unit owner. We have Shafika, unit owner of Daisy, Mr. Alex, unit owner of Bamboo, but we always ask you guys, anybody with accounting skills to join the team. Please, anybody would like to join the committee today as background of accounting team must be a unit owner.
2 unit owners, me.
I need to raise hand, one, okay.
One.
Accounting experience, you are a pharmacist, but it's okay, I will take that. I will take that. What else?
You are computer sheet.
No, no.
How you do the
You don't
budget?
have a construction experience, but you're participating in the construction.
It's okay. We need accounting specialists to do the numbers. Anybody else volunteer? We already hiring accounting company and you don't like it.
Talking about
So
next year? Or you talking
no,
about next
about
week?
today, somebody to join the committee.
You're gonna remake
You
the
do.
budget today.
All right, we have another
You're
volunteer.
gonna remake the budget today.
We have another volunteer. Anybody? Anybody to volunteer?
Volunteer for when? For what?
To be on the financial committee to study the budget
For next year?
for any year.
Okay,
For
how
now,
about
we're starting from
218?
today. We're starting
How
from
about
today.
218?
Larry,
Tell me why there's a
Larry.
difference between asphalt for $100,000 for Camellia and $40,000 for Daisy. Tell me.
Okay.
You can't.
Okay. Join the team. That's
Join
all
the
what I can
committee.
say. Without
I have my own
screaming.
toilet paper home.
Without screaming. Without screaming. All right. So for those two people, we like to have your contact. We know you. So the other one. All right. Thank you.
So what we're waiting for now is we're trying to figure out if there's enough proxies turned in to do a quorum only for the amendment of the common elements, the amendment to the declarations to add the tower as a common element. And the reason why this is important to get done is because according to the Miami-Dade city attorney, the only way that the association could classify for a tax exemption on that common property is if it's properly classified as a common element in all of your governing documents.
$2.50 a unit.
Excuse me, what is the number-wise? What is number-wise?
$29,000.
$29,000 a year.
$29,000. Don't do this.
A year.
Don't do this. Something is fishy going on with the tower. Don't
There's
do
no
this.
conspiracy.
For
It's simple.
20
They
if you
value
Join the
they
team
value
so you can see it.
I'm telling you, if you just listen, they valued the tower at $1.6 million. Everybody that walks past it knows it's not worth $1.6 million, and they're taxing you on it. And so, in order to get a tax exemption, the Miami-Dade city attorney said we need to amend your governing documents so that it removes the references to the lease and lists it as a common element. And
we want to see the
what we did.
paperwork from the city authority.
You already have it.
Show us the paperwork.
It's an I have
Words
emails.
is words.
We don't have emails.
How much is going to increase the maintenance?
Look,
You want me to send all my emails?
$2.
I get thousands a day.
the alternative, wouldn't it,
For the year.
isn't a viable option to try to get it reassessed as far as the value?
If we can't get it exempted in total, then that's what we're gonna have to do is apply.
So why don't we do the reassessment first and then go for the, have we attempted the reassessment?
Once we get assessed the bill, if we can appeal it and get the value reassessed that way. This way,
We got the, did we get the bill?
I haven't seen
Yes.
this. Yeah.
So did we attempt to reassess, did we attempt to reevaluate it?
That's
That's during the year for this year, but for the next year, what we're gonna do? From the first day,
Taxes
it has
are
to
paid
It has to be done by January
2017. 218 paid next year.
recreational property, you don't have to pay
West by
tax.
April.
Why don't we donate it to the Trump administration? They can make
There you go. There you go.
I'm open to all options at this point. I'm trying to do this because I want your obligation to them.
That building right now is in total disrepair, probably is borderline being condemned.
Correct.
So if we accept the responsibility for that as owners, what is the end use of that building other than putting a cell tower or, I mean, it's a big building with how many square feet? What's the plan, the thinking behind doing all this, rather than just making a tax exempt building where we won't have to pay taxes on this building?
Yes.
What's the cash flow for the next 10 years?
Okay.
What is the repair cost?
Okay, so let me
What are
ask you.
the 50 questions that any reasonable person would have that we haven't had any feedback about it?
Okay, let me ask you. I need to just find out, this is for information purposes. Are you all aware that originally the tower, I know you are, Harry, but you're aware that originally the tower was being leased back to the association? You're aware of that, right? So we had a land lease and we paid for it, right?
We cannot hear you.
Okay, I was saying, are you aware that originally that tower was a land lease and that we paid somebody else for it? Is everybody aware of that?
Yeah.
Okay. Is everybody aware that we now bought the tower? That we own it, right?
Yes.
So you're aware of that, okay. So that's two things. You're aware that we no longer lease it, we own it. So if we own it, we're gonna get taxed on it, right?
$28,000.
$28,000, which, and you may think that that's not enough money, it doesn't matter. Now, you also are aware that right now, you have very valid questions, what are we gonna do with it? Right now, we can do nothing with it because it's in disrepair. It has to be certified. All kinds of things have to happen to it. So for the time being, there is no plan to do anything with it because we simply don't have any money to do anything with it. So now, let's assume that we say, okay, we don't want to do this. We want to go ahead and we want to keep it the way it is. We're just going to pay, like she said, $29,000.
No, we want to see the paperwork.
Every year.
Every year. Well, let me explain to you why we can't sell it. I mean, technically, I guess we could sell it,
Yes.
but if you sell it, now you have to figure out, huh?
Has to be in shape.
Well, not only that, let's assume it doesn't have to be in shape to sell it. Let's assume somebody comes in and says, we want to go ahead and we're going to buy it, and then we lose total control of it, and they can do whatever they want with it. So if they decide to have a strip club in it, we can.
I wouldn't oppose
Have a
that.
strip club. I'm exaggerating.
I wouldn't oppose that.
But at this point,
Even if it's
I'm sorry?
even if it's
But even if it's inside our property,
And who is the madam?
once we sell it, we have to give somebody an easement to get to it. We have to let them get to it. There's a lot of things that can happen.
Christina, we have to allow parking.
We have to allow parking for it. There's a lot of things about selling it. So the point is, you take the $29,000 and we pay that, or as Harry said, we can have it reassessed, but it just doesn't get reassessed. In the meantime, we're responsible for paying it, and we usually have to pay an attorney to go fight for that, which is another expense.
That's the
So
problem.
we could do either one. I just don't see, I'm sorry, I don't see how it hurts us as a community to have it made a common element. What's the downside?
Though, to the common element?
I'm sorry?
What is the disadvantage in being a common element?
And that's a question I want to know. What is the disadvantage? If we make it a common element, how does that impact the unit? That's a question that they
Tear it down? We'll pay $300,000 to tear it down. $300,000.
Everybody have to cost $2.5 a year for the taxes.
No,
it's not a year.
So what I'm saying is, what
A month, not a year.
So if we make it a common element, how does it affect the unit owners? That's what they want to know, that's what I want to know.
All right.
If we have $150,000 to pay the lawyer for fighting for bankruptcy, that another group of very strong lawyers didn't do this, we can pay $28,000 for the people.
I will answer you. As soon as we are out of this problem, financial problem, we will decide about the tower. Not we, the board, but the people will.
Right, but that
vote.
wasn't my question. My question is, what is the detriment to the unit owners in making that a common element? What are the repercussions?
Yeah, we have to spend a lot of money.
We're going to have to do that anyways, because we own it. It doesn't matter, we're going to have to do that anyways. We own it. So either way, whether we fix it as a common element, or we fix it, or we sell it, we're still responsible for it.
So to demolish it out of the question.
I would ask a couple of really quick things you ought to be able to answer. I'm sorry, I didn't hear your name.
Kevin.
I'm Mike. Nice to meet you. Two quick things. By transferring, by pushing it out to each.
It's a common element.
By making it a common element, thus changing the ownership technically, do we have a liability shift?
So, real quick, I'll answer that one. So, whether the classification for it being a common element is only for the tax purpose. It's really only for tax purposes. Yeah, because it doesn't change your liability. You guys are, it's owned equally and jointly and severally by everybody right now as it is. The common element classification is only to get the tax exemption.
So it doesn't shift.
Doesn't shift liability. That's already there. Yeah.
Okay.